our next item of business, we have two noise exemptions from Bylaw body, as she likes to be called.
There is Bylaw.
I think she's busy doing bylaw issues, so I will present her reports on her behalf. We're on page 65 of the agenda for the first one. And this is an exemption for Steamship Days musical events to be held at Snug Cove Municipal Wharf, the North one, July 7th, 2012, from 6 p.m. until July 7th at 9:30 p.m. and July 14th from 6 p.m. until July 14th at 9:30 p.m. And the recommendation is that council approve the application made by Lorraine Ashton on behalf of the Bowen Island Chamber of Commerce for an exemption to the noise control bylaw for the Steamship Days musical event to be held at the wharf between 6 p.m. July 7th and 9:30 p.m. July 12th. There's actually two separate, they've done it as two separate recommendations.
7th and the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the recommendation, that's in the...
So I'll move the recommendations on page 65. The council approved the application for July 7th from 6 to 9:30 and for July 14th from 6 to 9:30.
Seconder? Thank you. I just point out to you that there was a letter received yesterday or today? Came yesterday from Robert and Patricia Adams on Cardinal Drive. I'm not sure if they're against it or not.
They said object on the form.
They what?
They, on the actual form, they said object.
Okay.
To health reasons.
Yeah.
And what with the mayoral proclamation of widespread PR, I'm just reading from the letter. Steamship Days are well underway. I would ask that in the event there is a further movement to continue Steamship Days or other events that impact Snug Cove, that representation from the Snug Point Property Owners Association be included in the initial planning stage. And that's just for information purposes.
That's the point that I think, because that is a condensed area, and
Yeah.
because there are already some significant events there, dog dance being one of them, that attention should be paid to the Owners Association, which covers everybody, instead of, or in lieu of doing door-to-door knocking. And then they basically can sort it out among themselves. I noticed that the chairman of the association, being Mike Lightbody, something he was in favor of, but certainly that's something that they should probably be dealing with. We should recognize that.
Well, I think it would also be important in the future for the Steamship Days organizers to be in touch with the Property Owners Association as well. But I would point out that of the resultant people canvassed, 90% were in favor. There was only the one homeowner that was in opposition to it.
And the music is only till 9:30 at night, and given the style of music, it shouldn't be.
You should put them to sleep.
My wife was the one who did the canvassing, and I asked her that exact question, why, it's going to be swing music, which is, going to be music these people grew up with, right? So why are they so upset about it? Apparently, one of the people in the house has hearing aids, and any loud music is just horrible to listen to. So that's what the complaints are.
So we won't ask why you said take it down, but I think it's a point of principle as much as anything else.
That was the excuse.
Question? Ready for the question? All those in favor? Thank you.
I got one more.
We have one more, and the next one is page 74 in your agenda package. And this is an after party for the Alzheimer's fundraiser hike to be held at 1265 Scarborough Road, that's the Legion, between June 30th at 7 p.m. and July 1st at 12 a.m. And the recommendation is that council approve the application made by Tim Hausch of Bowen Island Gives for an exemption to the noise control bylaw for an after party for the Alzheimer's fundraiser hike to be held at 1265 Scarborough Road, the Royal Canadian Legion number 150, between 7 p.m. June 30th to July 1st at 12 a.m. And that 16 residents were in favor of the exemption when canvassed, and 1 resident was not in favor. So that gives 94% in favor of the event going ahead for the neighbors.
Can I have a motion? Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Darren. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Thank you.
And we have for council information, there's correspondence from Bruce Russell regarding the Manny Day boat problem. And this is provided for council information at this time.
And before we leave Manny Bay, I just and go traveling to another bay with Andrew here. Or are you
This is
the
a
two
little Islands Trust Pender Island slideshow.
Okay, so before we move to another one, I just wanted to talk about Mannion Bay for a moment. This points out again the question of jurisdiction, like who owns what and how can we deal with things. And I know Bruce has been, railing away at this. That's one thing that everybody's aware of it. But it's a question of jurisdiction, and it's sorting out the jurisdiction is what is taking all this time. There's a second component to my comments on Mannion Bay. I'm somewhat annoyed at the last letter received dealing with Cape Roger Curtis and the boats and the docks, the docks and the breakwater, because this person lives about a block away from Mannion Bay and Deep Bay, and we've heard almost nothing except for certain people who live, very few people who live around Deep Bay about the issues in Deep Bay. But we hear from these same people who live very close to Deep Bay, we hear about all other aspects of things on the island, and I think that's really annoying that a problem in their own backyard they pay no attention to. I just wanted to make that comment.
Catherine, is there not an application for jurisdiction?
We got the foreshore notice.
Yes, we have the foreshore. So part of the problem is I haven't had the opportunity to review any of this. It's on my work plan, but I'm working 7 days a week right now. So unfortunately, it is something that has gotten a little lower, because what I'd like to do is get Bonnie Brokenshire more involved with it. She's done a lot of research. That's just getting that time to coordinate with her.
Okay, that was my comments. So, where are we now? We're on the.
And they're on Hall, this is their community.
And I don't see Dawn
recognize it?
Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to show this, but there are some interesting. This is. Can I just go ahead here?
Yeah.
Before we get into what this is all about, there's just a few other things I took pictures of. This is the inside of the Pender Hall Community Center. It's built like a barn, and this is the upstairs. It's what would be their great room. So you can. It's unfortunately we've got a stretch shot here.
That's upstairs.
This is upstairs. It's a nice mural at the very end. This is what Trust Council looks like. You have 25 or so people situated around tables. So anyway, I'll just, so you can see the trusses and so on. Oh, lighting grid,
And that's what they use for their theaters.
projector with a loft at the back. Stairs. Okay, that's what it looks like from the outside. See the 3 totem poles there?
And there's a huge big open room in the barn. Did you take pictures?
Yeah,
of the open room?
no, unfortunately not. It's like a church basement.
I think it's even bigger than the upper area.
Yes,
Oh,
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah, it
it
has
is.
a big kitchen and a assembly room.
Like the sitting room on one side and an office.
These 3 tones are kind of cool. Big town. Parking lot, so this is by the Hope
Bay,
Bay.
I think, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is a commercial area on the what would be the east side of the island facing Maine and Saturna. Kind of neat. It's a goldsmith shop. in
Is
there.
this in the same area as the Muni Hall? Or
No,
the,
no, this is,
center?
Wolfgang and I went for a tour around the island and we tripped on this place. So we're looking at Saturna over there in the distance. Here's the dock. See the park benches there.
It doesn't come out on the photos, but what surprised us was a population of 2,800.
2,400.
2,400.
Yeah.
It was all kind of well-maintained, properties well-maintained. North Saturn is kind of a pastoral
Mhm.
setting, kind of farm. It was what we described it as a pride of, civic pride
Yeah.
of ownership.
Yeah, you really got that sense all around the island. That there is a real sense of civic pride.
Can't
What's
fucking
that?
start thinking.
So this
Go
is a-
right on the water. No
This is,
setback.
there's a restaurant in there.
Yeah.
So
Good
we got
restaurant, too.
and there's a signage, and again, you know, landscaping around, the signage is really well done. And now this is the mall here, which is mid-island,
Mall?
a mall. You'll see all,
Shopping. Anyway.
It's got a really nice grocery
Yeah.
store.
you know, and they have these overhangs that skirt around the entire complex, so when it's pouring out in January and February, or 10 months of the year, you can walk around and not get wet. Picnic benches with umbrellas, courtyard concept, doggy poop thingies.
Restaurant.
It's the,
That was at 7 o'clock in the morning, I think.
yeah, look, Wolfgang's going into the liquor store.
He's rattling the door. He's rattling the door.
Yeah, he was about to kick it down, actually. A very sophisticated bookstore with, you know, very tasteful tourist stuff. Recycling
I like
containers.
those. Well, where's the dress shop?
A real gas station.
Hmm.
And you can buy your lot of 649 tickets there. And here's what Allison was talking about, a grocery store like an IGA.
Drew Valley.
This is all part of the same complex. And there were at least 2 phases, maybe 3 phases. Wolfgang, you probably were able to figure that out more than I. Part of them all was done probably in the older ones, 60s?
Yeah, 60s.
60s, and then this stuff, you know, it's in the last 10 years or
There's
so.
2 additional buildings right now under construction, so.
The post office is there somewhere.
Now, this is something Wolfgang pointed out, and again, this is wide angle, so it looks bigger than it is, but the size of the parking lots in the mall were inappropriate in terms of trying to create a sense of intimacy and so on.
You mean it was too big, too small?
Yeah, the asphalt was too big. Those lighting things built in the box that intrigued me. Here's Wolfgang going to the liquor store again. This was the Islands Trust people at lunchtime going down to see a historic site. And like any good aspiring paparazzi photographer, I made a point of trying to get pictures of people eating food.
Bad.
Trust fellow from Saturna there in the foreground. Let's go again. Gary Steves, he's the fellow with the beard. We'll meet him in September. Very funny individual. Has deep knowledge of Islands Trust issues and politically astute individual. This is inside the museum.
So did you go to the winery?
No, didn't have time. Now this is the part. This was worth the trip, the 3-day trip in itself. We're going in now into a medical center, 7,000 square foot space. Fundraise privately. They have a nonprofit society that's been created to run it, and they did all the fundraising. $1.3 million construction cost, 7,000 square feet. Once you go inside, you're going to be blown away. So here we're staring down a long hallway, and then to the right here is reception for the dental area. So they have a dentist on staff. It gets better. And so there's the dental area on the left, and on the right is where the medical records are kept for the people visiting doctors. There's the waiting room.
2,400 people?
Yep.
How do they-
And it's busy.
The doctor isn't there every day, is he? I thought somebody said.
Doctors are there every day, but the dentist is there 2 days a week, optometrist 1 day a week.
And they rotate from their,
They're isolated.
they don't all live on Pender, right? No, they come on, yeah.
And there's Wolfgang talking up one of the receptionists.
It was the other way along.
Fairly boring, that one. Just down the hallway, a bunch of rooms, which we'll see in a minute. Wolfgang checking out the art. So these are examination rooms. Now this is interesting. There are 2 rooms side by each here. These are ER rooms. And you'll see some of the equipment as you see some close-ups here. Here's the other one. Yeah, this stuff was donated by a doctor that was closing his practice, those big light thingies. Some more gear. Remember, 2,400 people.
Yeah, but they're an isolated community and they don't have the ability of hopping on a 20-minute ride on a ferry to Metropolis with a hospital.
In the space of 2 years, we've had $100 load on a card go from 4 ferry crossings to 3. Gas has gone up from 90 cents a liter to $1.50 in the past 5-6 years. Things are going to change on this island the way that people leave.
You don't have to pay for your medical travel.
Right.
Really?
You get a TAP program.
But it still takes a day.
Well,
Things are this island's going to be different in 10 years. The way that people treat travel.
And do
So-
you know the demographics for Pender? Or do you know the-
no, I mean,
Yeah, we couldn't get a handle on that. We got it. Our sense was that it had more of an aging population than us. That maybe they were about 5-10 years ahead of us. But that's just a guess.
And they're solely in the Islands Trust, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, well, they're an electoral area of CRD, Capital Regional District. So there's the Southern Gulf Islands.
But they're governed. They're like we're the only municipality. So they have a massage therapist there, Reiki and Shiatsu acupuncture, public health nurse, chiropractor. This is a courtyard. This is interesting. Wolfgang pointed this out. There's this beautiful courtyard, as you can see, but the natural light comes into almost the entire space through here, which really adds to the ambience.
By having the courtyard in the center, all surrounding rooms have natural light.
Yeah.
And there's lots of great art on the walls, and they like an art gallery, they circulate stuff and put new stuff on all the time. There's the executive director. He's also an architect, and he built and project managed the thing going up. And now
So the
he's
fellow with the ponytail?
yeah. It's Wolfgang,
Gary
obviously,
Steves.
and Gary Steves. So it's the sign from the front, and that's. So you're looking at, from the road, that's Cross Road, that's the public school. And this is a Bowen Court set up right next door to the health place. And the rest is just happy shots, I think. This is from above the Hope Bay, Hope General Store. That's Main Island over there, that's Saturna. Can't really see anything in there. Oh, this is actually worth talking about. Ferry marshalling area. When we were coming across on the Milk Run to Pender, we had to go by a few islands. They all had real ferry marshalling areas. All of them. 5 lanes wide, but really nicely landscaped on the edges with gardens and so on, and covered walkways going down to the dock so you wouldn't get wet.
All paid for by BC Ferry.
Yeah.
Because they own the land.
Yeah, so there you go. Now, Pender Island is probably the least attractive of the bunch that we saw, but it still looks
They
okay.
haven't got one.
No, we didn't go by Saturna, so
There's
we-
sort of no community hall or anything, or gathering place for
The community center, we saw at the beginning.
Well, that was the,
That's Pender's.
So this kind of gives you a sense of the loading area right here. And that's it.
But part of the reason with the loading areas, the marshalling areas, when you get on that ferry, it's got 4 stops, and they have to put you on the boat depending on where you're getting off. So, you can't have an unmanned lineup the way we
The
do.
reason we wanted to show you the medical center especially, most people are not aware of, and I have become aware of it because I have dealt with rental space for a doctor's office. When Dr. Bucher passed away and he knew he was leaving, we couldn't find a replacement. And I talked with several GPs who liked the idea of coming to Bowen Island, but they didn't want to have their own office and their own staff and so on. Until you have a medical center, I wouldn't entertain that. And there were 4 or 5 serious people and said, well, no, I don't want to be chained for the rest. They have maybe 5, 10 years, which they still are willing to practice. I don't want to be chained 7 days an hour and 7 days a week. But the medical center with 1 or 2 others, and we have a community nurse and all this under one roof. And I couldn't really understand what he meant until I saw that. So here, we talked to one of the doctors, and he was quite happy. So they actually paid by the hour they work there. The community, the medical center itself breaks even. They don't make a profit, but they break even without ever being in distress. And with all the support services, they all pay basically by the hour. So this facility carries itself and handsomely. And I see already a problem with the second medical practitioner here. She just does not provide the service which we need. And for a lot of family, it is a reason to leave or not to come over here or to get distressed.
Can I interject just for a second? One thing that was pointed out when we were there on this point is that having this facility actually attracts people because like right now because we don't have a facility like this, we don't get the talent coming here that we ought to. So you have a place like this, and it actually attracts people because they go, "Oh my God, you've got this infrastructure here, and all I've got to do is write a check at the end of the month for my rent, and I can set up shop like that, you know, and easy to get clientele, and you know, because you have critical mass."
So the clinic supplies the support services, like the receptionist
Yeah.
services?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
So everything's there, you just drop the doctor in? Or?
Yeah.
It's a clinic model, and I mean, if you look in Park Royal, there's a clinic, and you look in North Van, there's a couple of clinics. And the younger doctors are wanting the clinic model because they don't want to be burdened with all the administration and overhead, and so.
But most are run for profit, those medical clinics.
Yeah.
This
When you
is
say that-
basically not for
No,
profit.
but the model, the idea.
The model is the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But who's paying?
Basically, medical
profits.
plan. Yes,
Profits.
profits, yes.
Yeah, so you bill MS, the clinic bills MSP and looks at all that
So
stuff, and the
it's-
doctor
it's
gets
the
paid.
It's the shared admin, overhead, etc.
And it comes
So
out from many pots. There is family support, the community
Yeah.
nurses are paid by somebody else. Then the drug counseling, family counseling. I think, did he mention close to 10 different sources which pay for that?
Yeah.
They have Meals on Wheels, very popular.
We got Meals on Wheels here.
Yeah.
The Abbeyfield people do that.
They do that?
Yeah, it's called Better Meals, and they deliver them to your house, so.
Great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, that's probably enough time spent on. It may be timely to at least put that a potential part of the community center.
in that area.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of hoping that we would have, last Friday, we would have, what are we gonna do with the community lands, development or sale or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be very appropriate in talking about this, talking about the
Yeah.
community center. And the other thing that's come up is, I was talking to Brian Biddlecombe last week, and we were talking about the whole, you know, now that we've got a site, what do you call it? Auxiliary
Replacement of the
site,
existing fire hall.
Yeah.
the replacement of the existing fire hall, and why would you build it on that site when we have a clear site that we could put up a structure? And, you know, that could be part and parcel of the whole sort of community. The lot 2 or 3, whatever it is, could be sort of an all-encompassing municipal center with community centers and maybe medical and maybe fire hall and maybe police and just have everything in one precinct. And that sort of made sense to me 6 months ago. It makes more sense today, especially that we have our auxiliary hall now, the, you know, far end of the island. Then this moves it closer into town and also closer into Hood Point or Valhalla or whatever areas. So, I mean, there are all sorts of interesting things that are starting to bubble to the top, which I think is terrific.
Good.
This was timely. Anyway, is there anything further that people want to say for the record? No? Can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. No.
Any further discussion?
All those in favor? Thank you.